Okay. Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to, let's see, I'm unmuted, right? Yeah. Okay. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Level 1-2 Yoga. I'm Susan. So thanks for coming. I was just talking with Margie a second ago, just making sure everybody knows that this is a, level it however it works for you class, as always. So you're always welcome to add on vinyasas, add on, jump switches, anything that would make it a little bit more athletic for you. And you're always welcome to take those kinds of transitions out of the fact as well. So, this is your practice, and I just want you all to get what you need out of it. And so thank you for coming and giving me a chance today. So just to let you know in advance, let's just all sit in a nice comfortable seat. We're gonna start off on our backs, but to let you know in advance, the peak pose we're working up to today is Bhavasana, which is also called Firefly pose. And so it's just, we've been working the last couple of weeks on hips and hams and quads. So I wanted to keep on focusing on those muscle groups and seeing what else we can do with them now that we've been stretching and strengthening through them. I love Firefly pose. It's an arm balance. It ends up being probably from an arm strength standpoint, one of the quote unquote easier ones, but it's a lot more complex as far as how open you need to be in the hips and the hams. And so we'll take it down to some steps for you to take it as far as what works for your body. If you do happen to have blocks, that's a great way to help get into this pose. So do grab 2 blocks. If you don't have them, that's quite all right. We'll just take it as far as we can without them, but it is something that will help you out in this pose. And then as always, they're helpful for you if you need them for pyramid pose we're gonna be doing today, for runner's lunges, things like that, if you need a little bit of lift to bring the earth a little closer to you. So anyway, I was thinking a lot about fireflies and how interesting they are with their light and their guiding light and what they use it for and how they sync up. And so I started to think about guiding lights and inner light and what that really means for us on our mat. So I found this really great reading. There's a couple interpretations of Yoga Sutra 1.36 as far as inner light goes. I won't go into it because there's a lot of different interpretations of it. But basically, commentators on the Yoga Sutra have described this light, this inner light, as a great brightness or radiance in the heart from which the true self shines forth. The light has also been described as a tiny spark at the tip of a thread in the darkest recesses of a cave within the heart. For me, the author of this article, the image of the thread with a bit of light at the tip has always symbolized that no matter how far removed or disconnected you may feel from the light, and no matter what your circumstances, the spark of that light always lies within, free from grief, free from pain, from sorrow, and affliction. Even when you've forgotten about the light or doubt its existence, it's there. And remembering and reflecting on that can be a great source of support and comfort in difficult moments. You might think of following that thread of light at the tip as its way of finding your way home again, and when you're unsure of your way and all around you seems dark. So I just really like that, especially with this situation that we're in right now and everybody just being a little bit handling this whole, quarantine and coming out of it in their own way. And for some of us, sometimes coming out of it is bringing a little bit more anxiety than being in it. And so I thought that was a really nice way to think about just as guiding light, kind of leading us from our hearts through it and doing what's right for us. And kind of taking this back around to the balance and the pose that we're doing. As long as you're letting your joy be your guiding light, then you can always stay in balance. So I just really liked that for both what we're doing today on the mat as well as what we're doing off the mat. So with that, let's come down onto our backs and get warmed up. So come all the way down onto your back. I'm going to turn this way and pull your knees into your chest and just start to feel. Sometimes for some of us, especially for me, I don't know about you, I can really feel this kind of motion in my hips. So just rock back and forth a little bit and start to feel where you are, how tight you are, and maybe these quads and these hip flexors. Maybe you don't feel this at all, and that's awesome. This is, for some reason, I really, really feel this. And then we're gonna take a couple hip circles here. So holding on to those knees, let's just go ahead and take them in either a clockwise or a counterclockwise position. For a few rounds here, we'll just take 4 or 5 of them. And it doesn't matter which way you went, because once you hit that amount, let's just turn it around and take it the other way. All right, and then bring it back to center, pull those knees in. Let's let your left leg go long and just hold on to that right knee real quick and pull it in a little bit. All right, so now take that knee, take your calf so it's parallel to the ground. So we're still bending our knee in, but we're not hugging into our chest now. We're lifting up a little bit. Flex your toes towards your knee and then really draw your abs up and in. Try to keep your flat back. So abs pulling down towards your spine here. Let your left arm, whatever feels good, either cactus, taking it down to the mat. Take your right hand to your knee and let's just open up that knee to the right side, leaving your knee bent, leaving your foot flexed. And just take it as far over as you can with leaving this left hip pinned down onto the earth. Maybe even take your hand to that hip if you need to hold it down, if that's more comfortable. And then keep on pressing with your right hand, the knee towards the earth. And we'll open up that groin muscle. All right, go ahead and leave that knee bent and bring it back up to the center, and we'll switch it out now. Take your left hand to that knee, let your right arm go long onto the mat, and then just twist that knee over. Again, trying to keep the integrity of this pose though, of this position with your leg, with your toes flexed and your calf, your leg parallel to the earth. And then bring that knee back up to center. Pull your left knee in to meet it. Give it a little quick hug in and then let your right leg go long. We'll switch it on the other side. So take that knee a little bit away from your chest so your calf is parallel to the earth. Toes are flexed back towards your knee. Take your right hand down to the earth and maybe to that left hip, left hand onto your left knee, and let's just open up that knee to the left. I feel this very differently on this side. I can get this one pretty open without even feeling it, where my right side is pretty tight. All right, bring that knee up to the center and switch it out, taking your right hand over to that knee, leaving your foot flexed. Let's just take that twist over to the other side. And then back up to the center. Pull your right knee in to meet it. Let's give it a hug. And then one more stretch while we're down here. Let that left leg go long again. And this time extend your right foot up to the sky. Flex your right foot so your toes are pulling down towards your knee and hold on to the back of your thigh. If you need to bend your knee as much as you need to, go right ahead. We want this to be comfortable. I don't want you to hurt your hamstrings too early. So just straighten out as much as is comfortable for you. And then try to press your heel up towards the sky. Okay, and then we're just gonna give a very gentle pull in towards your chest to open up that hamstring a little bit more. But again, don't do anything too severe or too strenuous this early on. We haven't really done anything yet. We're just trying to see where our hamstrings are. Let them know that we're coming for them. All right, bend that right knee. We'll switch it out. Pull your left knee in, let your right leg go long, and then extend your left leg up towards the sky, flexing your foot. Again, bend that knee as much as you need to. And then real gentle pull in towards your chest. And then let's bend that knee in. Give yourself one more nice big hug in, cross your ankles, and we're gonna rock up to a seated position, or you can always roll over to one side and press yourself up. Then once you're in a seated position, let's swing it right around and come right into a tabletop position. All right, so shoulders in line over your wrists, fingers spread really nice and wide, and then hips in line right over those knees. Take your sit bones back and apart, take the crown of the head towards the top of the mat, and then roll those shoulder blades away from your ears. Draw your abs up and in, tighten everything up, and let's reach your right arm forward, take your left leg back. Turn your left toes so that they're facing the floor, press your heel towards the back of your mat. Take a deep breath in here, and then exhale, elbow to your knee. Inhale, reach it out. Exhale, elbow to your knee. One more time, stretching it out long, and then pulling it all in. Let's extend it back out and hold it here, and then open up right arm to the right side, left leg to the left for awkward airplane. Bring it back to center and pull it back in to your neutral tabletop position. Fix your foundation if you need it, and when you're ready, take your left hand forward and your right foot back. Get all that alignment again, nice straight line right from your right hip. Take a breath in here. Exhale, elbow to your knee, round your back. Inhale, reach. Exhale, pull it in. Inhale, reach. One more time, elbow to your knee. Reach it out nice and long. Take a breath in here and then exhale, left arm to the left, right leg to the right. Bring it back to center and pull it in, tabletop pose. Pull your knees back a few inches, curl those toes if they're not already, and let's meet in downward facing dog. Take a few rounds of breath here, making any movements that you need here to wake up your body, maybe walking your dog, doing some hip dips, whatever you need to do. Wherever you are, just make sure you're pressing through your knuckles, taking the pressure off of your wrists. Maybe come up onto those toes and bend your knees a little bit and send your hips up even higher, pressing your chest towards the thighs, and then leave the hips right where they are. You straighten your knees and drive those heels back down towards the earth. All right, take a breath in here and let's walk up to the top of the mat into a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, fold. Let's inhale, bring it all the way up, reach for the sky, take your palms to touch, reaching for the wall behind you, and hands down to your heart center. Get your nice, strong, steady Tadasana wherever you are. Inhale, reach your arms up, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come up, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back, find a plank pose. Hold this plank for just a couple of breaths. And again, pull those thighs up towards the sky and your heels towards the back of the mat. Take a breath in here. Exhale, bend your elbows, Chaturanga Dandasana. And then come all the way down to your stomach into a cobra pose. Press your toenails firmly into the mat. Inhale, pull up, heart forward, pulling those shoulders away from your ears. And release it down. Take those toes back and either press up through a plank or through tabletop position. We'll meet in downward facing dog. All right, take your right toes up just a little bit in this downward facing dog, and then cross your right ankle over your left. And we're gonna walk our hands back into a forward fold at the back of your mat with your right leg behind your left. Pull your right hip forward and your left hip back. And let the crown of your head sink down towards your toes, hips up towards the sky. All right, walk your hands forward all the way into a plank pose. Uncross your ankle, leave your right toes raised, and then lower down to Chaturanga Dandasana, one-legged. And then find your back bend, and then back into downward facing dog. All right, this time take your left toes up just a little bit off the mat, cross your left ankle on top of your right, take the toes down, and then walk your hands back towards your feet for that same stretch on the other side. Okay, let's walk our hands forward into that plank pose. Uncross your ankle, leave your left toes up, and then bend your elbows, Chaturanga Dandasana. Find your back bend, and exhale, downward facing dog. Bend your knees and look forward, and on your exhale, navigate your way to the top of the mat into a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, fold. Inhale, let's come all the way up, reach it for the sky. Again, take those hands together into your heart center. All right, let's do, okay, so now we are gonna do a full sun B. So bring your feet hip distance apart or toes together to touch or almost touch, whatever's comfortable for you for a chair. When you're ready, pull those abs up and in, shoulders away from your ears, bend your knees, take your fingertips down towards the earth, and then sweep your hands up and find a chair pose. Take your thighs back and apart and keep drawing your abs up and in. And forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, take that plank pose again, or go right into downward facing dog. If you're in plank, lower through your chaturanga dandasana, inhaling up into your cobra or upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. All right, we're coming into warrior one here, so take your right toes up, pull your knee towards your nose, and then plant your foot in between your thumbs. Get your left foot situated here at a 45-degree angle, heel all the way down to the mat, and then when you're ready, climb your hands up your thigh or sweep your arms up, finding a warrior one. Bend your right knee deeply so it's right over your ankle, and then pull that right hip back so it's even with your left. Reach up. All right, frame your foot, step back, either downward facing dog or plank. If you're in plank, take your vinyasa, we'll meet in downward facing dog. All right, take those left toes up, draw your knee towards your nose, plant that foot in between your thumbs. This time get your right foot situated, heel all the way down, 45-degree angle with the foot, square off your hips, reach it up towards the sky, warrior one. Keep working the left hip back and working the right hip forward, but don't lose that bend right over your ankle. And frame your foot. Again, step back, either plank or downward facing dog. If you're in plank, we'll meet you in downward facing dog. Bend your knees and look forward. On your exhale, hop, float, jump, skip, tiptoe to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach it all the way up. Oh, I forgot the chair. Bend your knees, send your hips back, sink down into your chair. I always forget the second chair. Now rise all the way up. And hands to your heart center. Okay, we're gonna add on to this. We are gonna eventually go into a warrior three. So if you need a couple blocks at the top of your mat for balance, please have them available. Or know that you can always take your warrior three with your foot on the ground and just practice lifting your toes up, okay? All right, so let's bring those feet together to touch or to almost touch this time. Draw your abs up and in, thighs back and apart, fingertips down towards the earth, sweep them up, find your chair pose. And forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back, either downward facing dog or plank. If you're in plank, chaturanga dandasana, cobra or upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. Okay, so this time let's take your right toes up, lift them up high, bend your right knee, and then stack that right hip on top of your left. Work on pulling up through the left shoulder and drawing up through the right knee. Okay, straighten out that right leg, draw that knee in towards your nose, plant your foot between your thumbs, and rise up, warrior one. Left heel is down, right knee is in line over your right ankle. Bring your palms together to touch. Keep your abs up and in, take your shoulder blades down your back, squeeze the palms together. Take a breath in here and then exhale, reach towards the top of the mat. Inhale it back up. Don't round in the back when you reach. Keep a nice flat back. Do it from the hip. Take a breath in. Exhale, reach. Inhale it up. One more time. Keep squeezing those palms together. Reach it towards the top of the mat. Leave the reach here. Press into the right foot. Lift your left toes. Warrior three, palms together. Lifting your left toes up, squaring off your hips. Press the heel toward the wall behind you. And release down, standing splits. So hands down to the earth. Again, trying to keep your hips square. Lift the left heel up. And release the toes down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back, either plank or downward facing dog. If you're in plank, chaturanga dandasana. Inhaling up into your back bend. Exhale, meet us in downward facing dog. Okay, take your left toes up, bend your left knee, and let's stack those hips over to the right. This time taking the right shoulder up, right heel down. Straighten through your left leg, Bring that knee in towards your nose, plant it between the thumbs, and we'll come up, warrior one, left foot forward, right foot back. Take a moment to get all of your foundation and all of your alignment. Draw everything in towards the midline. Bring your palms to touch. Squeeze them nice and tight. Keep those abs pulled up. Inhale here, exhale, reach towards the top of the mat. Inhale it up. Exhale, reach. Inhale up. One more time, reach it towards the top of the mat, hold it here, shift the weight to your left foot, lift your right toes, find a warrior three. Turn your right toes to face the floor and press your heel towards the wall behind you. And then hands come down, hold your standing split, square off your hips, and then forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, sweep your arms up, chair pose. And rise all the way up. And hands down to your heart center. Okay, we're gonna do one more round of that and add on. Maybe not add on, but complicate it. All right, toes together to touch or to almost touch. When you're ready, bend your knees, take your fingertips down towards the mat, sweep them up, chair pose. And lower down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant those hands, find your plank pose, or meet us in downward facing dog. Take your vinyasa. Take your right toes up. Again, bend your knees, stack those hips. If you'd like to take wild thing here, keep taking your right foot over and over towards the left side. Either stay here or come to wild thing, taking your foot all the way down to the earth, spinning onto the ball of your left foot and reaching your right hand towards the center of the room. Swing it back around, three-legged dog. And then let's pull that knee around and come up into our warrior one, right foot forward, left foot back. Take your hands behind your sacrum, clasp your hands. Inhale, straighten your elbows away. Okay, try to keep your knee bent right over that ankle. We're not gonna come into a full humble warrior. We're gonna take a breath in and exhale, just lean our head, towards the top of the mat. Inhale it up. On your exhale, draw the head towards the top of the mat. I got a little bit wobbly there. Inhale, bring it up. Sit through those legs together if you got wobbly. Nice strong foundation. Lean towards the top of the mat with your bound hands. We're gonna come into bound warrior three. So leave your hands clasped, press into the right foot, lift your left toes, bound warrior three. Release the bind, reach your arms forward. Take the hands down, standing splits. Stack your left hip on top of your right for a twisted standing split. Raise your left heel a little bit higher, and then square your left hip down even with your right, leaving your heel raised. And release the left toes down, forward fold. All right, we got another side to do. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, take that plank. If you're in plank, lower down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhaling up into your back bend. Exhale, meet us in downward facing dog. Okay, remember, everything's optional here. Take what works for you and for your body. Let's all raise our left toes up, bend your left knee, and stack that hip on top of your right. Either keep working on this twist, or if you want to take wild thing, keep drawing that left foot all the way over to the right until it finds the earth, reaching your left hand towards the center of the room, lifting the pelvis up, and then swing it back around, meeting us all in three-legged dog. Draw that knee forward, plant the foot, and rise up, warrior one. Both heels down on the earth, both hips square to the top of the mat. Take your hands behind your back, take the opposite clasp. As Ashley, one of our teacher trainees, says, it feels like you have an extra finger here. Go ahead and straighten your elbows back. And then don't lose the integrity of that bend like I did. Bend that left knee right over your heel. and square off. Take a breath in here, exhale, lean your torso forward. Inhale it up, exhale, take it forward. Inhale it up. One more time, lean towards the top of the mat, shift your weight, lift the right toes, bound warrior three. Work on keeping the hips nice and square. Keep reaching the knuckles towards the heel towards the back wall. Release the bind, reach it forward, and then hands come down, standing splits. Go ahead and stack that right hip on top of your left. Raise the right heel as much as you can. Keep it raised as you draw that right hip down, even with your left. And release the toes down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, sweep your arms up, chair pose. And rise all the way up. Tadasana. Hands come down to your heart center. Grab a sip of water if you need it. All right, I would say we're warmed up, right? Okie dokie. What are we gonna do here? Okay. Again, vinyasas are always optional. We're gonna end up in a runner's lunge. So if you don't wanna take a vinyasa, you can take downward facing dog, or you can always just step right back with your left foot, right foot forward. All right, let's inhale, reach it up. If you're with me, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, take your plank pose. And lower down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale into your back bend, and exhale, downward facing dog. As promised, runner's lunge, take your right foot up, draw your knee in towards your nose, plant your foot in between your hands, hold your runner's lunge. So we're on the ball of our left foot here, pressing up through the left thigh and then down evenly through both hips. So spin your back foot flat. We're gonna come up into a warrior two. So left toes point to the left side of your mat. Reach your arms up. Take a look as your right knee in line right over your ankle. Pull your right glute towards your left heel to tighten up your lower half and reach your fingertips towards the front and the back of your mat. Flip your palm, right palm, and then reach that hand up, taking your left hand to your leg, reaching the right hand towards the back of your mat, but reaching up through the fingertips. Bring it back, warrior two. Reach that right hand towards the top of your mat, bend your elbow, place your forearm on your thigh, take your left arm up over your ear. Before you do anything else, plug your shoulder blade down your back and then reach that arm over your ear. Maybe send your gaze up towards the sky. Maybe take your right fingertips down to the earth or to a block. Keep pressing through the outside edge of your left foot here. And then slowly pull yourself back up, warrior two. This time flip both palms, reach towards the top of the mat, and then bring that left arm up and bring it over your ear as if you were holding my favorite beach ball at the top of your mat. Pull back through the left shoulder and reach up through the right rib cage. And then pull it back up, warrior two, straighten your front leg, say ah. Pull back your left hip. We're gonna come in a triangle pose, so reach towards the top of the mat, and then tick-tock your arms open into 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock. Once you feel nice and stacked, go ahead and take those fingertips down to a block or to the earth, or leave them on your leg. Again, press evenly through both feet here, so you feel the weight disperse evenly. And then pull it back up. Leave that leg straight, turn your right toes to face your left. Press through the outside edges of both feet and take your thighs back and apart. Keep reaching for both walls here. Take a breath in and exhale, forward fold. Bring the hands all the way down to the mat. Let's come up onto your fingertips, halfway lift. And then exhale, fold all the way down. Work your hands back so they're even with the inside arches of your feet, maybe with your heels. Take a look back all the way at the wall behind you. Maybe take the crown of your head down towards the earth. Keep pulling the hips up towards the sky. All right, come back up onto your fingertips here, or at least to a flat back. We're gonna rotate into a runner's lunge. So turn your right toes back to the top of the mat, walk your hands towards your right foot, come onto the ball of your left foot, and we're gonna come into a runner's lunge here. Okay, from here, we're gonna transition to a pyramid pose. So you're gonna have to shorten your stance, pull your left toes in towards your right as much as you need to get both heels down onto the earth. Your left toes should be in that same warrior one position. And then come up onto your fingertips here, pull your right hip back and your left hip forward. And then you should really feel a big difference there in your right leg. Try to keep all that integrity as you take a breath in here, and then exhale, take your stomach down towards your thigh. And this is where if you need blocks here, please make sure you have them handy. You can always keep a bend in your knee if you need to. Okay, leave your left hand where it is, take your right hand to your hip, turn your torso to the right side of your mat, and then reach your right arm up for twisted triangle or twisted pyramid. And right hand comes down. Let's shimmy that left foot back. We're gonna come back into a runner's lunge. So bending into your right knee, left foot comes back as far as you need it. Okay, we're gonna transition now to runner's lunge on the other side. You're welcome to step your left foot forward and take your right foot back, or if you're with me, jump switch, left foot forward. So we should all be in a runner's lunge, left foot forward, right foot back, right thigh lifting up, both hips pressing down. Spin your back foot flat, right toes to the right, and swing your arms up, warrior two pose. Take a moment here to pull that left glute in towards your right heel. And again, reach through both fingertips towards the front and the back of your mat. Inhale up nice and tall through your spine. Flip your left palm and exhale, reverse your warrior. And come back, warrior two. Reach those left fingertips towards the top of the mat. Bend your elbow, forearm to your thigh. Reach your right arm up, pull your shoulder down, and then right arm comes over that right ear towards the top of the mat. Turn your gaze up towards the sky. Keep pressing through the outside edge of your back foot. And if you'd like to take those fingertips down to the block or to the earth, go for it. Just keep pulling up through that right shoulder. Don't let it hunch forward. And then pull yourself back up, warrior two. Flip both palms to face the sky. Again, reach towards the top of the mat, and then take that right arm up and over your ear as if you're holding that beach ball at the top of your mat. Keep turning your torso to the right. Keep squeezing that beach ball, and then pull it up, warrior two. Straighten that left leg. Take a nice deep breath in as you pull your right hip back. Reach towards the top of the mat, and let's find your triangle pose on the other side. And go ahead, use that side body, pull yourself all the way back up, leave your left leg straight, turn your left toes to meet your right. Keep reaching for both walls again. Take a breath in, and again, let's forward fold, press through to Uttanasana. Take your hands all the way down to the earth. Inhale, come up halfway lift, and then exhale, sink it down as deeply as you can go, and taking the hips up as high as they can go. Again, come on up onto the fingertips, nice flat back. We're gonna rotate the left toes towards the top of the mat, walk your hands towards the left foot, come onto the ball of the right foot, bend through, sink down, runner's lunge. Transitioning now into that pyramid pose, let's shimmy the right foot in as much as you need to get your heel all the way flat to the earth, toes at that 45-degree angle, and straighten through your left leg. Come up onto your fingertips and then pull that left hip back, right hip forward. Try to keep all that integrity. Take a breath in, exhale, stomach down towards your thigh. Don't lose the hips, keep pulling back through the left. Plant your right hand, take your left hand to your hip, turn your torso to the left, and then reach the left arm up. Don't lose the hips, pull the left one back. And then take the hand down. And we're gonna shimmy back into that runner's lunge. So take the right foot back as far as you need to, bend through the left knee. Again, we're gonna meet in a runner's lunge with our right foot forward. So either step switch or jump switch. And then take the left knee all the way down. We're going to, let's do a quad stretch. So take that left knee back a little bit further and then come up with your hands on your thigh. Okay, so we still want that nice strong foundation. So pull that right heel in towards your left knee. Keep your abs really, really engaged. And then bend your left knee, drawing your toes up off of the earth, and reach your left hand around and grab your foot or your ankle. Press your foot into your hand into foot. If you want to add balance, take your right hand up. All right, go ahead and take the hand back to the thigh. Very gently let go of the ankle. Don't spring load back down to the earth. And then let's take your hands down and let's bring both hands to the inside of your right foot and shimmy that right foot over to the right. Let's take a minute here. Take your right hand to your knee and press it away. Give a little bit of movement here. Oil up the joints. Hips should be nice and flexy right now, or at least more so than where you started. You can stay here for your lizard lunge, or if you want to take it deeper, go ahead and bring both hands back down to the earth. Maybe come down to your forearms. If you need a block here, a little bit of lift, feel free to get it, whatever you need. If you want to challenge yourself a little bit more, curl your left toes under and raise your left knee up. If you've raised your left knee, take it on down, crawl back up to your hands, shimmy that right foot back towards the center, but leave both hands to the inside. If you want to take this deeper, stay with me. If you want to just come into traditional runner's lunge, go ahead and frame your foot and lift your back knee. If you're with me, keep your hand to the inside and lift your back knee. And then take this right hand and lobster claw your calf, okay? We're going to use that as leverage to get our right shoulder underneath our right knee. So press into the calf and get that shoulder underneath the knee. And then take your right hand down to the outside of your right foot. Okay, keep lifting up through the left thigh here and pressing back to the left heel. Raise your right fingertips and your left fingertips into an airplane. All right, take those hands down, take the shoulder out. Let's frame that foot traditional runner's lunge because we have to do it on the other side. So either step switch, stepping your left foot forward, your right foot back, or hop switch, jump switch, whatever you want to call it. Shimmy that, I keep using the word shimmy. Roll, I don't know, take your right foot back, drop your right knee down, and then come up and bring both hands to your thigh. We're gonna do that quad stretch so it feels better if you're on the top of the knee instead of right on the knee. So take that foot back as much as you need to, and then bend the knee, taking the heel towards your glute. Reach your right hand around, grab your your ankle, your foot. Squeeze everything in for a nice foundation. And if you feel solid here, lift your left arm up. Keep pressing hand into foot, foot into hand. All right, take that hand back down to your thigh, gently let go of your ankle, and then bring both hands down to the earth and take them to the inside of that left foot, and then lead your left foot over towards the left side of your mat. Again, here, let's just take our left hand to our knee, press it away, give a little bit of movement. See where we are on this side. You're welcome to stay here for your lizard lunge, or you can take both hands down to the earth to a block, maybe take your forearms down, maybe tuck those back toes and raise your right knee. If your knee is raised, take it back down, press yourself up, and then let's guide your left foot back towards the center of the mat. And again, you know the options here. You can take your hands and just frame your foot back into that runner's lunge, or stay with your hands to the inside, raise your back knee, make this little L shape with your left hand and lobster claw your left calf, and then use as leverage to get that left shoulder underneath it. And then take your left hand down to the outside of your left foot here. If you want to deepen this even more, extend your arms out to both sides, finding another airplane here. If you're an airplane, go ahead and take those hands down, take them back to the inside, frame that left foot, take it back to the middle, and then we're going to step forward into a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Let's inhale, bring it all the way up, and hands down to your heart center. Grab a sip of water if you need it. It's a little toasty out there today. All right, we're going to end up down on our bottoms. So I'm going to vinyasa there. If you'd like to just sit on down, go right ahead. If you're with me, let's inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, take a plank pose. Draw the abs up, shoulders back, and lower down through your chaturanga. Inhale, find your back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Come on down to your knees, swing your feet around, sit on your bottom, and we're going to come all the way back down to your backs, like we did at the beginning of class. So rather than hugging your knees in, take your calves parallel to the earth, flex your toes, pointing towards your knees. Take a moment here, take your hands down to your stomach, and just feel your breath. And then draw your belly button into your spine and feel the contraction in your abs when you do that. Take your hands down and see if there's any gap in your back. We want a completely flat back against the earth, so you shouldn't be able to get your fingertips under there at all. So keep all of that abdominal motion that you're doing right there, that ab bracing, and then take your hands to your thighs. Press your hands into your thighs, or pressing in and up and pressing your legs into your hands as you continue to take your belly button down into your spine. If everything's not shaking, you're not doing it enough. And release. Give yourself a quick break. All right, flexing your foot or feet, calves parallel, belly button down towards the spine, contracting the abs. Take your right hand to your right thigh. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take that same thing. We're going to press into the thigh, press in and up into your right thigh, extend your left leg, extend your left arm back. Bring it back, take your elbow to your knee, straighten the left leg, take the left arm back, elbow to knee. Do it again, but don't lose the motion in the right side as you keep on doing this. And then bring it back to center. Release for a second, roll your ankles if you need to. So the whole time we're doing the extension with our leg and our arm, we want to keep on drawing the belly button down, pressing your hand into your thigh, thigh into your hand, okay? So we're going to do a left hand to our thigh, and again, pressing in and up, and then extend your right leg out, extend your right arm. Don't let your heel or your hand touch the ground, and then elbow to your knee. Do it again. Keep on going. Don't lose the ab bracing on the other side. And release. Roll out those ankles. Okay, we're gonna come back into seated. So either press yourself up or cross your ankles, rock and roll, coming in to a seated position. We'll do, while we're down here, we're gonna do flowering lotus. So if you have anything right to the sides of your mat, we're gonna end up in a wide-legged fold. Okay, so start off with your knees bent, feet stamped down on the earth. Then we're gonna open up as if we were coming into a Baddha Konasana, but don't come all the way down into it. So really just the inside edges of your feet to touch. And then we're gonna take your hands underneath your calves, sit up nice and tall, roll your shoulders away, and then slightly shift your weight back and lift your feet up. So it's kind of like boat pose, but not really. So keep your hands under your calves and then slowly start to work them out so that your forearms, your forearms are underneath your calves, okay? And then press your legs into your arms into your legs, and keep that spine nice and tall. And then work on taking your feet all the way together. You want all four corners of your feet to touch. So the whole heel and ball mounts of your feet should be working towards each other. You're gonna continue to press your legs into your arms into your legs. Draw your abs up and in, shoulders away from your ears. Hold this for a few more breaths. Okay, try to keep everything contracted just as it is, but slowly start to take your hands away from your legs, bring them around and grab your big toes with your peace fingers and your thumbs. Okay, abs up and in, shoulders away from your ears. Slowly start to open your legs up and out. You might not be able to get your legs all the way straight like me, so maybe yours is like this, and that's okay. Take it to wherever works for you. Keep on contracting the abs. Use them for balance. And we're gonna come into a wide-legged fold here, but we're not just gonna flop our heels right down. So put a bend in your knees. Slowly take your heels down. Then once your heels are down, slide your legs out, coming to whatever level works for you in this wide-legged forward fold on the earth. And then release the toes, crawl yourself back up, bring your legs around, and then let's swing it around and come into a downward facing dog. All right, bend your knees and look forward and exhale, crawl to the top of the mat with your toes, coming into a wide-legged fold. So bring your feet wider than your hands, and we're gonna squat down into a malasana squat. So if you need a block or a pillow or anything underneath your bottom for a little extra lift, feel free to grab it here. If you're with me in full malasana, press your elbows into your knees, knees into your elbows, and really try, again, to sit up tall and draw those abs in. And take a couple breaths here. Take your hands down to the mat, straighten through your knees, come into a wide-legged forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold it down. Let's inhale, come all the way up, reach it for the sky, bring your hands to your heart center. Let's toe heel all the way together. So your feet are touching, or if you're like me, almost touching, because I fear my feet touching each other. I don't know why. And we're gonna come into a balanced toe squat. So this is a lot of quad and a lot of ab. So just like we've been doing, squeeze those palms together, then contract the abs, pull everything in and up, and try to keep the integrity of those abs as you come up onto your tippy toes. Trying to stay on those tippy toes, let's bend through our knees and see if we can't come nice and slow all the way down into a balanced toe squat. If you're balanced here, take your arms up. If you're balanced here, we're gonna take a twist. Right hand behind you, left hand forward. Bring it back to center, and we'll take the twist to the other side. Bring it back to center. Keep your arms reaching up. We're gonna try to stay on our tippy toes as we slowly straighten through the knees, coming all the way back up. And then heels come down, hands to heart center. All right, let's roll out those ankles. Okay, so last week, I believe it was last week, one of the weeks, either last week or the one before, we were doing standing half lotus. So we're gonna try to take that standing half lotus here, and then we're gonna try to bend back down into that squat, into that half lotus. So there's a lot of different bus stops you can take here. You can have some blocks available if you might need a little extra support, or you can always just hold onto the wall and just work on your standing half lotus there, taking all of the balance out of it, because we're really just trying to get the hip stretch here, okay? So if you're with me, go ahead and take your weight over to your right foot, come onto your left toes, and then draw your left knee up. Let's grab that ankle and see if we can't get our heel into our hip, our groin area there, okay? So here, I'm gonna just keep working. See, I'm falling out of it. Get your balance, all four corners. I'm working my heel into the groin area, and then this left knee down towards the earth, okay? And we're gonna keep on pressing the foot into the leg into foot, and bring your hands to your heart center. You can either stay here, or if you wanna start to bend through that right knee, our goal is to get our hands down to the mat, okay? Or to the blocks. So we're bending through the knee, start to take your hands down, see if you can keep the integrity of this half lotus, hands all the way down. If you're there, bend through. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get all the way there. So I'm gonna grab my block. Okay, I can't get all the way there. If you can, try to draw your hands up to your heart center. Balancing, basically your perineum is on your heel if you can get all the way there. Oh, there I am. All right, you're gonna have to come out of this the same way you got in. So take your hand to the earth or to the block, straighten through the right leg. And whoa, bring yourself up. Ah, I lost it. I don't know if you got it or not. I got really super close, but then I lost it. So let's try it on the other side, see where we are. Take a moment to center yourself, really engage the abs, shift to the left foot, come onto the right toes, pull the right knee up. And then let's work on our standing half lotus, trying to grab for the foot, seeing if you can't get the foot into that groin area. And then draw your right knee down. And again, if this is where you are, this is what you're working on. Hold on to a wall if you need to, and just keep working on this. If you're with me, press your foot into your leg, leg into foot, hands to heart center, engage with the abs, and start to bend through the left knee. Aiming for our hands down on the earth, or for me, today, they're on a block. The goal is to bend so deeply that your heel can rest in, basically, your perineum is on your heel. And then bring your hands to heart center if you have the balance. All right, we're gonna try to come out of it as gracefully as we got into it, whatever that means for you. And we'll meet back in standing half lotus. And then release your foot and shake it out. So I know where you guys were on that. It's always fun to try something new. Some days, you never know what you can do unless you try. So that's why I try to let you know where we're going and try to give you little bus stops along the way. You can work on whatever part of that works for you. Okay, so now we're gonna work on crow pose. So if crow is in your practice, you know what you're doing. If you're not confident with your crow, grab a pillow or a blanket and put it in front of you, and we can do crow prep. And then that blanket is just to help you with your confidence so that you don't land on your nose, okay? I like to do crow from a wide-legged stance. So my feet are not quite as wide as my mat, but they're close to it. I'm gonna bend my knees as much as I need to get my hands down on the earth into a forward fold, okay? So I want my palms flat on the earth, about 2 inches or so in front of my big toes and slightly to the inside, okay? So press all your weight into your hands so you're coming forward. So all your weight is in your hands, so much so that your heels start to naturally lift just slightly off of the mat. Keep all the weight in your hands as you bend your knees, take those knees to the outside of your arms, and then squeeze your knees into your arms, arms into knees. Keep all your weight forward onto your hands, and if you're doing prep, just lift your right toes, take them down, lift your left toes, take them down. Maybe you can start to play with bringing them all up. So find your crow pose. If crow is in your practice, try to hold it for 3 to 5 breaths, and then maybe shoot your legs back, landing straight into your chaturanga, and then meet us all in downward facing dog or come forward back into malasana. So do whatever works for you in your practice here, and we'll all meet in malasana when you're done. And then from malasana, let's just take your hands down and come down to your bottoms. Okay, if you have blocks, grab them and put them next to your hips. If you don't have them, that's okay. The blocks just make it a little bit easier. We are going to cross our ankles and bring your feet in as close to your bottom as you possibly can. That's gonna make this a little bit easier, okay? And so we wanna really work on squeezing the knees in towards the abs and sitting up super nice and tall. And then take your hands down to the earth or to your blocks on either side of your hips, okay? And then we're gonna aim for getting our feet and our hips up off of the earth. This really works if you draw everything in towards you and really pull everything in towards the midline of your body. So squeeze those abs, squeeze everything in, lift up off of the earth. So it's a lot easier with blocks. I don't know if I can do it without. I'm working on it. No, not today. So blocks for me. And again, if you don't have them, that's okay. Just keep working on it. Maybe even just working on bringing your heels off of the earth and drawing them in. So do a couple rounds of that, really working on the abs. And then when you're ready, swing it around and we'll come into downward facing dog. Okay, bend your knees and look forward. And on your exhale, come to the top of your mat, take a forward fold. Take a quick ragdoll here. We should be really nice and open in the hands, but I just wanna make sure. So opposite hands to opposite elbows, let the hips go up super high, let gravity pull you down towards the earth. Maybe swing back and forth just a little bit here. Take your hands down, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Let's inhale, bring it up. And hands to your heart center. Okay, so now we're gonna work on Titivasana, or Firefly pose. So for starters, if you have blocks, let's use them. If not, again, the earth is there and we'll take it in bus stops. So I'm gonna have the blocks behind me, behind my heels to start. I'm gonna try it both ways. So again, if you have blocks, go ahead and try it with the blocks. Otherwise, just try it on the floor. So we're gonna take our legs slightly wider than hip distance, sort of like we were for our crow pose, okay? Maybe not quite as wide, but somewhere right around there. You kind of have to play with this. This is one of those things you have to negotiate with your body, negotiate with your mat, with your props until you get the right feel for it, okay? And then we're gonna come down into that forward fold again. So come down as far as you can, bend your knees as much as you need to get your hands flat. Okay, so now that I'm here, I know I need to take my feet a little bit wider. So I am gonna take them about as wide as where I was for that crow pose. Okay, and then here, that same lobster claw that we did from that runner's lunge, we're gonna do that onto both of our calves. So I'm gonna bend my knees as much as I need to get my hands to lobster claw my calves. Okay, and what I'm doing here is I'm gonna use this as leverage to get my shoulders underneath my knees. So that is our goal. And then take your hands back down to the mat. Okay, you're gonna take them behind you. If you have blocks, take them onto the blocks. If not, take them down to the mat. Our goal is our shoulders are underneath our knees. And then bend your elbows back towards the back of your mat as if you're coming into chaturanga and sit your weight back. And now we're gonna use those elbows as a shelf and come onto your toes, okay? So maybe you stay here, maybe you lift those toes up. I just lost it. And then maybe you straighten your legs out. Okay, my center of gravity shifted back too far, so I fell. I'm gonna try it again without the blocks. I think that actually hurt me more than helped me, but it does help give you the little bit of lift. So that's how we're doing Firefly pose. Let's play with it a couple rounds. Again, try it with the blocks, try it without. Take those little bus stops. Maybe what you're working on is getting your shoulders behind the knees, and that's where you stop. If you have them there, again, I'll try to do it from the side this time. You want to bend your elbows back and use them as a nice little shelf. So I let my center of gravity go back too far. So we want to keep in mind that same thing with the crow is you want your center of gravity forward a little bit, closer to your hands, not to your elbows, okay? Even though you're sitting on your elbows. So keep on playing with it. I'm gonna take my wide stance, bend my knees from the lobster claw, both my calves, and shimmy my shoulders underneath my knees. And take my hands back behind my heels, get my palms flat, bend my elbows, and shift my weight back. But I wanna keep my weight in my hands and reaching the crown of my head forward. I'm gonna try really hard not to let my bottom sink down this time. Maybe come onto my toes, maybe lift the toes, maybe take the toes together. This is a great place to start. Maybe cross the ankles or start to straighten your toes away, straighten your legs. So for me on the second one, it was actually easier without the blocks because I didn't shift my weight back. But again, the blocks will help you access this. And then it helps you too if you're ever doing transitions from TT into crow. The blocks will help you a lot with that, with any leverage. All right, so if you're done playing, let's come to the top of our mat. We'll recenter ourselves here. Close your eyes, take a big deep breath in, big open mouth exhale, let it out. All right, nice strong steady Tadasana, abs up and in, thighs back and apart. Inhale, reach your arms up. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back, take a plank pose. And lower down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, find your back bend. And exhale, downward facing dog. All right, we should be super loosey-goosey for pigeon here. So we are gonna take our right knee behind our right wrist, right ankle behind our left wrist, and try to find your pigeon prep. So take your knee down, take a look back, you a nice straight line all the way from your hip, all the way to the back of your mat, toenails pressing down into the mat, trying to get our shin as parallel to the top of the mat as you can, but don't worry about it if it doesn't get there. We want to protect that knee. Wherever you are, take your right hand to your knee, left hand to your ankle, and then pull back through the right hip and forward with the left until they're nice and even. This is our goal, is to keep these hips nice and even. If you need to put a block or a pillow underneath your right hip to keep it there, please do so. Keeping all this integrity, drawing your abs in, walk your hands forward. Come down as far as you need to. Keep on pulling back with the right hip and then pressing down evenly through the right and the left. And keep that motion with every breath. Inhale that hip back, exhale both hips down. And then pull yourself back up. Optional quad stretch here or coming into mermaid. So again, taking your hand to your knee, hand to your ankle. Let's bend through the left foot, look back, maybe reach back with your left hand and grab it. And you can always stay here for a nice quad stretch. If mermaid is in your practice, we're gonna reach the hand up. Take the toes into your elbow crease. I can't get my hand back. Take it as deep as it works for you, but don't lose the integrity of the hips here. Release the left foot down. Press your palms in. We'll come back into downward facing dog. So raise your left knee up and then sweep your right leg back, coming into downward facing dog. Okay, we're gonna do it on the other side. So left toes come up, left knee down to the earth behind the left wrist. Left toes behind the right wrist. Do whatever manual adjustments you need to do to get comfortable in your pigeon so it's good on your knees. Look down. Sound like I said knees. Knees. Nice straight leg all the way back, straight line through your right leg. And again, hand to your knee, hand to your ankle. Pull back through the right hip. And then keep all of that integrity as you walk your hands forward and put your pigeon to sleep. Inhaling the left hip back. Exhaling evenly down through the right and the left hip towards the earth. All right, go ahead and start to walk yourself back up. Take that hand back to the knee, back to the ankle. Pull up through the abs, down through the shoulder blades, bend through the right knee, and then reach back with your right hand and grab that foot or that ankle. Stay here, maybe keep drawing, and maybe reaching your left arm up. Maybe you can reach back for your toes. Listen to your body. Maybe you're still in sleepy pigeon. All right, go ahead and release the right toes back down. Bring your hands down to the earth. Lift through that left knee and swing back into our last downward facing dog. Pedal it out. Whatever movements you took at the very beginning of class, take those same movements here, whether it was walking the dog or taking hip dips, and see how different it feels. And one more time then, come up onto your tippy toes, bend your knees, send your hips up really, really high, send your chest towards your thighs, and then straighten through your knees, pressing your heels down towards the earth, and breathe in to this lovely downward facing dog. And then bend your knees, release them down to the earth, and swing around onto your bottom. Let's let your left leg go long. Bend your right knee, take your right foot into the inside crease of your left leg. Move the flesh away from your sit bones. Flex your left toes towards your knee and press your thigh down into the mat. Inhale, reach your arms up. Turn your torso over that left knee, and then on your exhale, reach towards the toes. They don't have to get there, that's okay. Just keep reaching forward with a nice long spine and really engaging through the abs. And then once you feel all of that feel, take your hands down to the earth, to your leg, to your foot, to your toes. Keep inhaling towards those toes and exhaling down into your thigh. And then crawl the hands up. We'll do it on the other side. Right leg goes long, left foot bends, the knee bends. The foot comes into the inside thigh. Foot bending, I'm not so sure how that would go. Do everything you need to do to get yourself situated in this pose. Again, really engaging through the right leg here, pressing that thigh down. And when you're ready, take your arms up. Torso comes over that right knee and then reach towards the top of the mat. Keep on engaging the abs, keep reaching your fingertips towards the top of the mat here, and then release the fingertips down to the earth and the stomach down to the thigh. And then crawl it back on up. Let your left leg go long. Get everything situated right in front of you. One more time, move that flesh away. One more time, drawing up through the abs, really pulling them into the belly, or belly button into the spine. All that length of your spine. Flex your toes, press your thighs down. Let's inhale, reach up. Just like we did earlier, take a breath in here. Exhale, reach nice and slow, nice flat back. Just keep reaching towards the top of your mat and hold it here. Don't release this. Keep reaching through the fingertips, reaching through the heart, all the way towards the top of the mat. And then keep all that integrity as you release your hands down to the mat or to your legs, to your feet. Take a breath in, exhale, sink down. And then crawl it back up, and let's come down onto your backs. Come all the way down, pull your knees up into your chest. Give yourself that hug in. Let's do those hip circles just like at the beginning of class, taking them in one direction about 4 or 5 times. And then switch it out, taking them in the other direction 4 or 5 times. Let's go through everything we did at the beginning of class. Hug that right knee in, let your left leg go long. Take your knee away from your chest, but leave your knee bent, taking your calf parallel to the earth. Left hand comes down to the mat or to your left hip, right hand to your right knee, and then slowly open your right knee out to the right, leaving your left hip pinned down, leaving the knee bent, the foot flexed. See now, can you get a little bit closer to the earth than at the beginning of class? Let's take it back up and take it to the other side, taking your right hand to that knee. But again, we're not pulling it into our chest. We're keeping it nice and parallel, foot flexed, and then take that knee over to the left. Bring it back to center, and we'll switch it out. Pull that left knee in, let your right leg go long, and then again, we're not hugging it in towards our chest. Let's take that calf parallel to the earth, foot flexed. Keep all that integrity. Let's see, right hand comes down to the earth or to your hip, and then open that knee up to the left. And then back up to the center, and we'll switch it out, taking the knee over to the right. Bring it back to center, pull both knees in, and we'll take that same ham stretch again. So let your left leg go long, extend your right leg up towards the sky, hold on to the back of your thigh and flex your foot towards your face. Take a breath in here and exhale, draw your thigh closer into your chest. Clearly it's gonna be easier than at the beginning of class, but really think about it. Send your mind's eye to the back of that right thigh. Take it a little bit deeper, pull it in towards your chest just a little bit more. And then bend your knee and release that foot down, switching it out this time. Right leg goes long, left foot extends up towards the sky, flex your toes down towards your knee, hand to the back of your thigh. Take a breath in here, exhale, drawing the thigh closer to your stomach. Take it a little bit deeper. And then release it down. Let both legs go long on your mat. Let your palms face up towards the sky. Take a big deep breath in here. Open mouth, exhale. Let it all out as you sink your shoulders, sink your feet, let go of your thighs, let go of the abs, and sink into your final resting pose of Shavasana. Start to deepen your breath. Bring awareness back into your body and back into your mind. Make small movements, wiggling your fingers and your toes, your wrists and your ankles. Now when you're ready, draw those knees back into your chest. Squeeze them in nice and tight. And then roll to one side using your arm as a pillow.
And gently press yourself up into a seated position.
When I teach the second and the fourth graders, I explain to them that at the end of class, we say namaste. And I explain to them that that means, roughly that translates into the light in me honors the light in you. The way I explain then to them what that means is I tell them when I say that, what I'm telling you is that everything that's good and beautiful inside of me recognizes and respects everything that's good and beautiful inside of you. So with that, I say to you all, the light and love inside of me honors the light and love inside of you. Namaste. Sandy's not on, so I need to come up here and unmute you all.